Welcome. This is our Algebra 2 Quadratic Functions, Lesson number 10, Equations and Circles, Homework Review, Part 1. Here we're going to be covering the different types of questions we have, find the center and radius of a circle, also how to write the equation of a circle in the center radius form, given the center and radius, and also find the radius itself using other formulas. I hope you guys enjoy this. Number 1. Each of the following is the equation of a circle. State the circle's center and radius. In the cases where the radius is not an integer, give its value round to the nearest tenth. So, first off, let's talk about how we find the center radius of each of these equations for circles. The equation of a circle whose center is 0, 0, and whose radius is r is x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Meaning, in this case, that if you see x squared plus y squared equals number, so x squared plus y squared equals number, that's going to be a circle whose center is 0, 0. So automatically, when you see that, that's the center, 0, 0. And the number that's equal to is r squared, the radius squared. So we just find the square root of that number to find the length of the radius. However, the equation circle has a center as h, k, and whose radius r is going to be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. This is, for the most part, very similar to the idea of taking a circle and translating it in a certain direction to a new center. And so keep in mind, the center is h, k, and our equation is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. So one way to look at it is that when you see numbers in parentheses, the actual number we're using for the center is probably the opposite we see. Okay, we'll take a look at this. Okay, so let's go back to our question. So for number 1, we notice that in this case that x squared plus y squared equals 144. So that would mean that since there's no numbers abstracting to the y's and x's, our center, C, is 0, 0. And our radius squared is equal to 144. So we'll take the square root of both sides. And so our radius is going to be 12. And there you go. Now for B, we have the equation x minus 3 squared plus y plus 7 squared equals 36. So remember, our equation circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And so x minus h, x minus 3 means our center has a value of positive 3 for the h value, or really the x value of the center. And since let's see, y minus k and y plus 7, all right, it's the opposite in this case. So opposite of positive 7 is negative 7. So the y value for the center is negative 7. Because if I plug in negative 7 to the formula, y minus negative 7 would be the y plus 7 we have here. Now, since r squared is equal to 36, our radius is going to be the square root of that, which means our radius here is going to be 6 units. For C, x plus 5 squared plus y plus 1 squared, the opposite of 5 is negative 5, so our center will be negative 5. Opposite of positive 1 is negative 1. Negative 5 comma negative 1. Again, if I plug in negative 5 for h, x minus negative 5 will give me the x plus 5. Plug in negative 1 for k, y minus negative 1 is the same as y plus 1. All right? And since r squared is equal to 64, the square root of 64 is going to be 8. So our radius will be 8. Okay. So let's continue with our next level of questions. We see here x minus 2 squared plus y minus 9 squared equals 100. And so x minus h, x minus 2, our center has an x value of 2. Y minus k, y minus 9, our center has a y value of 9. And since r squared is equal to 100, the square root of 100 means our radius is equal to 10 units. Again, for E, x squared plus y squared is 1. And one way you can use them, you can actually use the x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, because there's no number subtracting x. So x minus 0 would mean that the h value is 0. Same thing for the y. Y minus 0 squared becomes y squared. So our y value center is going to be 0 as well too. And since r squared is equal to 1, our radius is equal to 1. Okay? And then for f, it's a kind of mixture in this case. It looks like, oh, what should I do? Well, same idea as what we said for e, that since x squared plus y squared really is x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared. So x minus 0 squared here means our center for this equation, x squared plus y plus 5 squared equals 25, will be 0 for h. And in this case, the opposite of 5 is negative 5. So we'll have negative 5 for the k value of our center. So our center for this equation is 0, comma, negative 5. And the radius squared equals 25. And our radius is equal to 5. All right? And now we have our last three questions here. X squared plus y squared is 50. We know now in this case our center will be 0, comma 0. And if r squared is equal to 50, r equals the square root of 50. Now, they asked to have the radius round off to the nearest tenth. Round to the nearest tenth. So we're going to find the square root of 50. Okay? So the square root of 50 is going to be, let's see now, 50 square root 7.1, 7.07. So the radius is approximately 7.1 units. Okay? For h, x minus 3 squared, same as x minus h squared. Our h value for the center is going to be positive 3. And just like in the previous question, y squared is the same as y minus 0 squared. So our k value for the center is going to be 0. R squared equals 200. So r equals the square root of 200. And so the square root of 200 is going to be approximately, well, 14.14. We'll round to nearest tenth means, in this case, 14.1. Okay? And finally, for the question number 1, x minus 6 squared plus y plus 6 squared equals 20. Our center will be positive 6, comma, negative 6. And since r squared equals 20, r equals the square root of 20. So we're going to approximate the square root of 20 to be 4.47, which rounds about 4.5. Okay? And there you go. Next entire page. Excuse me. So in this case, we see that we use our formula to be able to figure out the center and radius of our circles. And so there you go. So yeah, a circle can be 0, 0, it can be any of these numbers null, and it can have radii that are not exactly going to be perfect numbers, nice numbers null. So we might round off, although the exact values would be a square root form. And you might as simplify. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the end of our Algebra 2 Quadratic Functions lesson number 10, Equations and Circles Home Review Part 1. All right. If you found this video helpful, please give a like and subscribe to the channel. We are doing a giveaway when we hit 200 subscribers, and we're getting close. All right, it'll be a Funko Pop giveaway. You have to be subscribed, as well as you have to leave comments in the future videos. I'll let you know which video is a video we're using, and of course, it'll be open for a little window. Okay, the window will be open for probably about a month to collect a number of entries. Every time you are make a comment in the video, we'll probably give you an entry. Will be an entry into the giveaway. Okay, all right. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. All right. Take care. I'll see you in the next video. Be safe.